What up, Sauce Gang, and welcome back to the channel. Hot Sauce Beats here with another dope game theory reaction, and we are back on that FNAF train, and the next video up is FNAF 4 Got It All Wrong. Chat, I'm beyond hyped for this because I don't know anything at all about FNAF 4, so this is brand new territory for me, and I'm beyond hyped to see A, what's happening in here lore-wise, and B, what MatPat thinks it's gonna be. So I'm stoked, but before we jump in this video, can you please show MatPat at Game Theory some love by subscribing to his channel? And then if you enjoy my reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free, and it greatly helps out the channel. But enough talking, let's get to reacting and roll that bomb-ass intro.
Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Eat, sleep, make beats. Eat, sleep, make beats.
Hot Sauce Beats! Woo-hoo! Who's ready for some FNAF? Go!
Sorry, Scott Cawthon. I'm tired of waiting for you. This time you'll have to keep up with me. Oh, never mind.
Now on stream ready now. Turn off them closed captions. I don't need them. I've never been a big fan, and I understand obviously there are people who need closed captions. I get so distracted. It's my ADHD, dude. I'm like, oh, shiny object.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to
Game Theory.
Where instead of waiting for FNAF 4 to be released, this time we're getting out ahead of the game.
So how do you get a theory about a game before it's even out? Riddle me that, MatPat! Riddle me that!
Or at least that was the plan.
But the game
Scott,
is out.
I swear, you are the biggest internet troll out there. Oh, it's being released October 31st. Okay, let me plan my entire schedule around that. Never mind, it's now in August. Okay, fine, let me rework everything.
Bro.
Lols, here's the full version.
That's way
now.
sooner. Way sooner? More soon? More sooner? Words.
You,
Words.
Scott Cawthon, are the reason I have an emotional dependence on Diet Coke. But today I'll be sipping that
And why
sweet,
FNAF
sweet
has
Diet
just
Coke in
destroyed
sweet,
you.
Sweet victory. Because guess what? I win! Scott, in your rush to get the game out, to get out ahead of my theories and completely flim-flam the internet and shock everyone by releasing the game 3 months early, you missed a huge detail. Maybe before releasing the game, you should have spent a bit more time researching, because this game, as you've presented it, is impossible. Let me explain. Basically, it's all but confirmed at this point that in FNAF 4, you play as the victim of the bite of 87, and that this...
What? I didn't know that! You're the victim of the bite of 87. What?
game is either his nightmare or what he's seeing in a coma as he recovers from his injuries. Let me run you through the evidence real quick so that we're all on the same page. First, in the months leading up to the release of the game,
I didn't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about FNAF 4.
Some of the teasers on Scott's website, with the numbers 8787 repeated over and over again. Two numbers that anyone who...
Chat, who finds this stuff? I mean, we still haven't even solved Wilbur Soot's ARG, which MatPat did try doing that. Wilbur's saying he didn't do it. But, like, how do you... it's a lot of... Oh, I mean, I get... Well, wow. Yeah, like, all the numbers are 87.
Who hasn't been living under a rock will recognize as a key date in the franchise's lore.
Okay, I guess that is pretty obvious.
Of 87. This is further supported by the text on the teaser images. All of the pictures released on the site basically ask the same question.
Or me.
Was it me? Which seems to refer to the actual
Jessica!
attacker of the...
Name that movie. It's me, Jessica! No one will get that. No one will get that.
Itself. But there was one more word we saw repeated throughout the teasers. Nightmare. Hidden over top of multiple teaser images was that exact word. That, combined with the Freddy Krueger-ish design of the animatronics, with teeth and claws everywhere, something far different from how we've seen these things
I'm excited to see Markiplier play this, dude.
This would be the way a child would imagine these creatures if he had had a traumatic experience with them, making it seem like what we would be playing would be a dream. Couple that with some evidence from the trailer. The first words are, "What is it you think you see?" making us question the reality of the images in the game. But there was also something that everyone...
dude, I feel like this one's gonna be even more spooky. I don't remember if you guys said you like FNAF 4 or not, but there's just something spooky about it being in a house, dark, little flashlight, stuff under the bed, out of the closet. It makes it more relatable, right? Like, yes, you know, you could dream, have nightmares about being in a pizza place, but I feel like when you make that emotional connection of it being at home, way more scary.
Everyone seemed
Way
to
more
overlook
scary.
about this trailer. The appearance of the number 4. Scott doesn't do things randomly, as I'm sure we're all aware by now. And notice the movement of the 4. It starts off in a horizontal plane, like it was laying down on something, say a bed, but then wakes up to stand vertically before the trailer ends. Even that remnant red rectangle is meant to symbolize the bed. Everything seems to be letting us know that what we're seeing isn't really real, it's a dream, or better yet, a nightmare. Now, fast forward to the game's release, or I suppose casually meander to the game's release, since it wasn't too long afterwards. And we see that this theory still holds. Flowers, an IV, and pills will occasionally show up next to your bed. Classical medical supplies that show us that this is a child in recovery. Foxy, who's hiding in a closet.
Now, Chet, didn't the bite of all of the bites, everyone died, right? No one survived. 87. Oh, because the first one was a worker and 87 was a kid. That's right. Yeah, and he didn't survive. 100% he died.
Will transform back to a plush toy if you hold the door closed on him long enough, making it seem like this was all a dream or hallucination. And
That's
of
pretty
course,
cool.
The biggest piece of evidence of all, the cutscene that ends night 5. Which, if you don't want a spoiler, click here to skip. All of you skipped now? Good. Actually shows the bite of 87.
And see, a lot of you guys worry about me getting spoilers, but what you don't know is how bad of a memory I have. I forget almost everything within a week or two of me watching it. So, like, we could go back to FNAF 1, and I'll be like, what is going on? This is crazy.
Take place in the mouth of the golden Fredbear.
Yeah, he's
This is
dead.
further supported by the quote-unquote boss of the game being that same golden Fredbear, where in the final nights, he's the one who ends up stalking you. All the other animatronics
he looks
disappear.
way scarier.
You're being haunted by the suit that bit you. So yeah, that's it. All the evidence points to the victim of 87 being our protagonist, the character we're playing as in FNAF 4. Good job, Scott. You finally put together a game with a coherent plot line. Except...
Oh God.
didn't. Scott
What?
Cawthon, if all of us are right in our theory, then you, sir, are wrong. Just when it looked like you were making a game that actually adhered to its own lore, you
God, what
also
happened?
made a game that is completely impossible from a scientific perspective. Loyal theorists, it's time we give Scott's latest bag of tricks a little lesson in real-life science. While frontal lobe injuries aren't as uncommon as people...
Again, Chet, am I wrong? I thought the bite of 87 died. So if I'm guessing he's about to go scientifically, the kid couldn't be dreaming, but the kid's dead, right?
think. Actually, they happen all the time in car accidents, playing football, falling down, etc. Having your whole frontal lobe bitten off has a much more profound impact on mental and physical function.
Can't
It would
even
come
dream.
with a whole slew of symptoms from motor skill impairment to nervous system issues. But the side effects we're most concerned with today would all be psychological. Removal of the frontal lobe significantly impacts the victim's ability to process certain types of stimuli, specifically fear
Nightmares.
stimuli. Let me give you some backstory. In the
Let
good
us-
old 1940s
Tell us, Matt Pat. Tell us the science behind dreams.
and 50s, psychiatrists often thought the best way to cure problems with the brain were to cut pieces out. Feeling depressed? Well, let's slice that out. Overly aggressive?
Shut up,
that
bro.
chunk probably wasn't important. As such, there are extremely well-documented studies of patients without frontal lobes. And what's fascinating about them was what happened.
You're acting kind of weird. Come into my office. Let me cut out part of your brain. Yeah, great idea.
To their fear response. Patients without a frontal lobe become uninhibited because they no longer have a fear response.
dog, what
Way
up?
back in my Fallout episode,
What
we
up,
looked
homie?
in depth at the most famous accidental lobotomy in history, Phineas Gage, who literally had an iron rod shot straight through his head, completely destroying his left frontal lobe. One of the most striking differences between pre-Pole Phineas and post-Pole Phineas was his sense of inhibition. And by that I mean post-Pole Phineas had none. He had no sense of caution, no sense of fear or self-consciousness. He was described to be impulsive to the point of being rude and vulgar in public. No fear,
no one likes
no
that Spider-Man.
anxiety, no social pressure anywhere. Going back to the game, one of the things Scott does a great job of throughout the FNAF franchise is putting you in the eyes of Mike or Jeremy or whoever. We feel invested in our protagonist because we are that character. But in this case, that's scientifically impossible, specifically because of the bite of 87. If the main character of this game truly is Little Timmy Lost a Lobe, he wouldn't wander around a house flicking a flashlight on and off. Why would he? He doesn't care.
I mean, a lot of things don't make 100% sense. I don't care about this dude's lobe, and again, I think he's dead.
Because tragically, he no longer has the capacity to care. His brain structure no longer allows it. As if this weren't enough, a frontal lobe injury also tampers with concentration and attention span. The main character in the game is still supposed to be concentrated over a long period of multiple hours. But the thing is, patients without frontal lobes don't have this ability. In fact, they can only stay focused on what they see immediately happening in front of them. A child missing a frontal lobe who repeatedly turned a flashlight on and off in a hallway without seeing anything would lose interest. They wouldn't have the mental wiring necessary to concentrate on self-preservation.
Freddy, what up, dog? Freddy, are you here for a sleepover, fam? You want to go get some popcorn and watch a movie? You want to play a game? You want to play some FNAF?
Would literally just go back to bed. The game is impossible the way it's being presented, because it would literally be over before it began. But the final and biggest nail in the coffin for this one is how frontal lobe injuries affect the imagination. The frontal lobe controls a ton of mental processing abilities, including dreams. You might think that an uncontrollable imagination would lead to exactly the kind of nightmares or hallucinations you see in this game, but in fact, it's the exact opposite. Rigorous studies have been done on the imaginations and dream states of lobotomized patients. While patients without a frontal lobe can have dreams, I don't even understand.
They used to, like, that was a commonality, especially for crazy people. They'd literally jam something up under your eye and just whoo, 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 like some windshield wipers, and they'd wipe all the connections.
Wasn't
asking about the weather.
Nightmares.
Silly rabbit.
Patients missing a frontal lobe carry their lack of fear and inhibition straight into their dreams. And why not? It makes sense. If the mind isn't registering fear consciously, there's no reason to process it subconsciously in a dream. Studies show that lobotomized patients can dream about idyllic scenarios, money, fame, praise, but they can't dream about the monsters under the bed. Or in this case, the Foxy in the closet, making the nightmare state of FNAF 4 impossible for the victim of the bite of 87. In fact, going back to the dark days of psychiatry, some patients...
that's what I was talking about! They used to windshield wiper!
...to experience the kind of recurring nightmare we see in FNAF 4 actually had their frontal lobes intentionally removed to stop these dreams from happening. One famous case describes a patient who was experiencing a recurring dream of being chased by ferocious animals. After the patient received the lobotomy in 1953, yes, he still had the dream, but would instead describe it as being a nice dream with some nice animals. His visions in the dream were no longer threatening. The animals were happy. He was happy, and he was no longer able to perceive any of the fear he once had prior to the surgery. So scientifically speaking, there is no single way the main character of FNAF 4 can be the bite of 87 victim, like Scott seems to have indicated. Sure, the game could be about another kid, I guess, but that would be lame. No, this game is meant to be about the victim of the bite of 87. The poor kid who wasn't just attacked at the restaurant, but continues to be tortured through nightmarish visions, dreams, coma-induced hallucinations, whatever. I have zero doubt that that's what Scott intended, but the fact of the matter is, he just didn't do enough homework. A kid with those sorts of injuries wouldn't care about those things in the first place. He would have no fear, and there would be no animatronics, real or imaginary, that would be able to keep him up at night. Biologically speaking, nothing he would be experiencing would be any scarier than
Chuck E.
the fan.
Cheese. Yeah.
Fan. Sorry,
Thank
Scott.
God for the
Better
fan.
luck in the movie. But hey, that's just a
theory.
theory.
A game theory.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, let's go. Let me bring you in chat. Hey, dude, you guys know this. You guys know I'm absolutely in love going back through this series. There's so much about FNAF that I don't know. I didn't even know. I thought all of the games were inside Freddy Fazbear's business, entertainment, pizzeria, whatever. I didn't know one of them was inside of a house. Again, I got a feeling though, like, I want to say I remember you guys saying you didn't like FNAF 4. So let me know. Do you guys like FNAF 4? Is it scary? I just feel like being in the house and closets and under the bed, and I just feel like that'd be more spoopy. Maybe I'm completely off and wrong, but I did like this though. I don't know, I felt like I definitely enjoyed the video, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he kind of stretched trying to like make a theory out of it, saying like you can't scientifically have it. I mean, most movies and games aren't real, like 99.9% of them. I mean, that's how this stuff is. You know, have you ever seen a yeah, I mean, hold on. He's talking about the fact that the kid scientifically can't have dreams about this stuff, but yet FNAF is about ghosts inside of animatronics. So, I mean, we haven't had that happen yet, have we? But anyways, as usual, I love this. Make sure you show Matt Pat some love by subscribing to his channel. And if you enjoyed my reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free, and it greatly helps out the channel. Enjoy the rest of your week, fam. And remember, it's eat, sleep, and make beats, and as usual, be kind to one another. And that's all I got. Boom, I'm out. Got nothing but love for the Sauce Gang. Woo!